Hey, it's Chris with photodabber.com. In this video, we're going to make a collage, heart-shaped collage. So let's go to New File. And you really want to kind of figure out what size you're going to make first. If we do an 8 by 10 or 16 by 20, it'll work out the same either way. So let's go 16 by 20, but I want it to be horizontal. So 20 by 16, and this will also print out a 10 by 8. It'll have the same aspect ratio. So RGB color, 300 resolution, black background, which we can change. Color profile is sRGB. We'll go ahead and hit create, and that will open up our new document. So what we want to do first is to unlock the background layer is fine. We want to set up some guides. So if you go up into your view menu here, go down to view, turn snap on, and guides, we're going to go to new guide layout. Okay, and then this particular one, we don't need all this extra stuff here. We're just going to do a simple 2-column and 2 rows. Okay, and then our margin is 50. Let's change this to 100. So we're going to change all these to 100 and hit OK. So this is where our actual images will go. Alright, so in Photoshop we need to create some rectangles that will act as a layer mask that will actually hold the image. Alright, so easiest thing to do is we can use the marquee tool if we wanted to, or we can come down and do a shape tool. Rectangle tool, and we'll just kind of drag out, and then it will snap to those lines like so. And I think actually I messed up already. Let's go ahead and delete this, because I want some gap for a border. You know what? Let's Control Z. We can do it a different way. No big deal. There's 20, 30 different ways to do different things in Photoshop. All right, so we have our first rectangle, and all we're going to do is duplicate it. So Control J, and then we can hit Control T and just drag it over to this square here, snap it in place. And if you have your move tool, you don't even have to hit Control J. You can just hold down Alt or Option and drag like so, like so. So we have our 4 layer masks. Okay, so these are going to be our masks. Alright, so we're going to click on the top one and then hold down Shift, click on the bottom one. We'll put them in a group, and we'll name this Photos Go in Here. Alright, now this is our lower left, so we'll label that lower left, and this one is our lower right, LOWERRIGHT, lower right, and this is our upper right, UPPERRIGHT, and this is our upper left, Alright, so we have our 4 photo masks. Okay, so we'll come back to this. Now we need a heart. Okay, so there is a way to make a heart. I do have a video on that somewhere on this channel. I'll put a link in the description if you want to make your own custom heart. But if you go into your custom shape tool, there already is a couple hearts in here. They're kind of hard to find, but if you go into 2019 shapes, and this is actually legacy shapes and more. So if you don't have this, go up to your window menu, go to your shapes, and then click on these little 3 bars here, and then click on legacy shapes and more, and it will load those in, and you'll have a bunch more shapes to work with. I don't really use a lot of these, but there are some interesting ones that you can use. If we go to playing cards and suits, we have this heart here, which I don't know if I like that one or not. Let's look at the other one. If we go into symbols, there are 2 hearts in here. One, nope, not symbols, shapes. There's this heart here, and then there's this one. Okay, so you have these 2 different options. I like this one a little bit better. So our shape color is, let's just change it to something that we can see. If you hold down Shift, it will drag it out. And then we can kind of put it wherever you want, make whatever size you want. If you hold down Shift, it will keep it in proportion. If you don't, it'll make it all wonky. Alright, so Shift, and we'll throw this heart right about here, and that looks fabulous. Let's go ahead and move it up. Enter. Control T. And that is right in the center. And if we don't believe that, we can go into our Move tool, hit our three dots, align to canvas, and then hit this little middle and this little middle. Alright, so it was in there. Alright, so this will be our heart mask, or heart photo goes here, however you want to name it. And then we can just drag this into this. Okay, so now we have our 5-layer mask. Now we need 5 images. Now unfortunately I probably don't, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with images, so File, Place Embedded, I'm just going to grab. Okay, so once you have your images uploaded in there, we need to drag them in there, and I just took out 5 because we have 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the heart is your 5th spot. So we need to figure out which ones we want to go where. So pretty simple here. I'm gonna drag this one here into the heart. So we'll drag it down into this group, and then we can just right click and hit Create Clipping Mask, and that will put it inside the heart. But we want it to fill it up, so we need to make this image bigger. Control T, and if we hold down Alt, we can just go like so, and I think this will look just fabulous, just like that. So we have that one. Now we can grab our next one, and we'll put this one in the lower right corner. So we can just grab it, drag it into this group, and where's the lower right is all the way down here. Let's make this bigger. Alright, so we'll drag this above the lower right, and then we can just right click, Create Clipping Mask, and it's in here, and then we can just drag it around. Whoops, Control Z. The amount of times I use Control Z is enormous. Okay, so maybe like so. So that's that one, and then the lower left one, this one would probably be good on the lower left because we're on the left hand side of the picture. We'll put it above the lower left. Oh, Adobe Acrobat has, I'm not even using it. Alright, right click, Create Clipping Mask, and then we can place it around like so. But I think on this one I want to hit Control T, and we will hold down Alt or Option and drag it smaller because that sun behind there looks pretty good. We'll just do it like so, maybe about right there, maybe. How you feel about that? I think we like that. Okay, now we have 2 more, and conveniently, as a photographer, I put stuff on the left or the right and not on the dead center, so it works out perfectly. Upper, lower right, come on. Okay, this is going in the upper left. Right click, Create Clipping Mask, and we'll drag it to where it needs to be. Maybe like so. I think that will work out fabulous. And then we need to do one for the upper right, which will be this one. And let's drag it down above the upper right. Right click, Create Clipping Mask, and we can move it around however we want. I think maybe we'll hit Control T and make it a little bit smaller. You can do this however you want. we're going to call it this. I don't want my sunglasses in there or half of my bald head, so we'll just move it up a little bit like so. Alright, so that is pretty much most of it. Now let's do some final tweaks to it. So we have everything in the photos going here. So we're going to add a new layer. Okay, and then we're going to make sure that our foreground and background colors are white and black respectively. So it is now black, but if you hit X, it'll reverse them. And we're going to use a thing that I've used like twice in the last 10 years. And it's this single row marquee tool and the single column marquee tool. So we're going to grab the single row and we're just going to click right around the center. So it's on the center, and now if we right click this, we can go to a thing called stroke, and then let's set this to about, let's try a 20, location center, and we'll hit OK. And I think that will be okay. Now let's deselect by hitting Control or Command D, and now we're going to come up here and use the single column marquee tool. Get it as close to the center as you can and just do one click, and then we're going to right click, stroke, 20 pixels, color white, okay, and then Control D. We have that all set up, and now we're going to go and control click on our heart. So wherever that heart is, control click, it's going to make a selection. Make sure you have your layer 1 highlighted, and then we're going to right click this, and then we're going to go stroke, 20 pixels, okay. And there you have it. It put a stroke around everything, but the only thing is we need this. I think we messed up a little bit because, you know what? We can do it a little bit differently. If we hit Control click on the heart again, and then go up to the layer and then hit mask. Okay, that kind of did it. Let's Control Z. I'll do that again, because if you Control click on the heart, and then you click on your layer, and then if you hold down the Alt or Option and click on your mask button, it gets rid of the line going across. So now let's remove our guides, Control or Command H, and that is our finish. So what we need to do now is to change our background color, which is black, to a white. Whoops, I hit mask. Solid color, white, and there you have it. Okay, so that is a real quick and easy. Now we could do some other things. Might as well. We don't need this black anymore. We can just delete it. We can do some other things. Now if we wanted to change the color of the borders, basically we can just double click on it and go to color overlay, and the only thing is whatever color we do here we're going to have to do on the background as well, so not a big deal. So let's just copy it, hit OK, click OK, then go down to our solid color, double click on that baby, and then right click, paste, and there you have it. So you can change whatever background color you have. Okay, so that is pretty much it. We could do some text on this also if we wanted to. I kind of had the idea of maybe putting some text around the heart, but we would have to do some other things to do that. So let's grab our heart and let's just hold down Alt or Option and drag all the way up to the top. It's going to make a copy. Okay, and so we have this. And then if we go onto our paths and select it, cancel. I might be lying, but that's okay. Let's see. Hit our type tool. Okay. It is going to let us type on the path. See how I'll put it over here in the grass. See how there's a square there around that? If we drag it inside the heart, it turns to a circle. But if you go up onto the actual heart itself, it changes to a squiggly. We'll go ahead and do that. Now, I want to start this maybe about right here, so I'm just going to click. And I have some weird font going on, so don't laugh. It's okay. It's spooky Halloween. I was making some spooky Halloween shirts. Okay. I just typed out family is love, and then what is going on here is some totally weird stuff. So we need to grab our arrow direct selection tool and see how it changes into these double arrows. We can do that and just push it up and flip it, and then we can rotate this around wherever we need it to be. Maybe on this side, and that font actually isn't that bad, but we're not going to use it. So let's go into let's see here what will look pretty. Maybe like the Breathing or Brittany, and I'll put links to these in the description. Billion Dreams, maybe. Nah, not a fan. Brittany Signature. Maybe we'll just do this one, and this is, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the text. And we can change the color to whatever color we need it to be. Maybe we'll just do this white color and we'll hit OK. And then maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger, like 100. See what that does. Okay, and you could go all the way around with a poem or whatever you want to do. Okay, and then this heart copy, we'll just delete it or turn it off either way. Okay, maybe we'll add some drop shadow to this family is love because number one, you can't really read it. That's way too much. Reset to default, and we'll just do a little bit of spread and a little bit of size and a little bit more on the multiply opacity. I think that will work, and then maybe we'll scoot it back just a little bit because it's going right in her eye. Okay, maybe that's going to be fine just like that. And this heart, we'll go ahead and get rid of it. Okay, you can do whatever else you want on this, but that's really quick and down and dirty on that. Okay, so we can also, I think this will work. Let's see if we put a stroke on this. It doesn't really work. Can make it fatter. That kind of worked. Alright, I think we'll leave it at this, and we'll just call it a day. Yeah, I like it with the fatter stroke, but that is it. And then you would just go to File, Save, or Save a Copy. I'm going to go ahead and save this as a template. And let's see, let's go into, we'll just call this 5-photo collage heart template. And you know what, I'll go ahead and leave a link to this where you can just download it if you don't want to do this extra work. I won't have my images in there. You can just add your own images, but that will be there. And then that font, that Breathing font, I'll leave a link for it too. I'm pretty sure I got it from Creative Fabrica. You can use whatever font you want, but I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. We'll go ahead and hit save and OK, and then we have our template, so we can just do this over and over with whatever pictures that we want, and we'll be good to go. And then I also want to, if we're going to print this out, which I may print this out, we'll go to File, we'll save a copy, and then 5-photo collage heart template, and I'll save this as a PNG. We'll go ahead and hit save, and then it'll say, do you want the large file size? Yes, we want all of the information. if it loads up. Large file size, okay, and it's going to save that out. So now we have all that. Now you can do whatever else you want to this, and pretty simple thing to do really quickly. The video took longer to do than the actual work. Alright, so that's how you make a photo collage with 4 rectangles and 1 heart, 5 photos, and about 10 minutes of photoshopping. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.